In Lesson 15, your students will have been learning how to make compounds from polyatomic ions. This game is called Compound Football, and it gives your students many opportunities to make compounds from these ions. By far, this game is my most favorite game in the whole course. I've set up a diagram here of the playing area that you'll need to have for your students. Now, you can play indoors or outdoors. If you're inside, a gymnasium works exceptionally well because it already has the lines created on the floor. If you're outside, you can set up boundaries using some sticks or hose or something like that. Basically what you need is a large playing area. About 20 feet by 40 feet is plenty. And then you'll need to somehow designate an end zone or a safe zone as what we'll refer to this area as on each end. So you can set up a chair or something over here on each side if you can't mark on the floor, and so just so your students know that beyond this point it's a safe zone on either end of your playing area. Now, the game itself is kind of like football. It's also kind of like rock, paper, scissors type game in that your students will initially be on two teams. However, after each play of the game, each round of play, the team members will be traded back and forth as the play progresses. So initially you can divide your students roughly into two teams. Now, on each team, you'll need to have a team captain. And to make it simple, what I usually do is just have whichever student happens to be the oldest on the team at the time becomes the team captain. And because the team composition changes as you play the game, that's an easy way to always have a team captain for each team. So, to begin play, what you'll have to do is provide for your students or ask your students to create a playbook. Now, one team will be designated as the cation team, and for our demonstration here, we're just going to go ahead and say that this team over here are going to be the cation team, and then the opposite opposing team are the anion team. So we're just going to call these guys over here the anion team. Now, in your teacher edition, there on page approximately 234, depending on which edition of the teacher edition you have, is some examples of the playbook, and you can also see we've got a diagram for the playing area as well. These playbooks are what each team will need, and just really a piece of paper that has written on it the cations for the cation playbook that they'll have access to or be able to use as a play, and then the anion team will have the same thing. And so you see here we've listed sodium, lithium, potassium. These are just some simple monoatomic ones. As you play this game and as your students get used to how it works, we encourage you to add the more polyatomic, those complex ones, so that they have opportunity to practice those as well. Same on the anion side. Start with some simple monoatomic ones, and then as you play, you'll add more plays which are the more complex, the nitrates and sulfites and those kind, to make practice of those compounds done as well. So each team captain then takes their copy of their playbook out into a huddle. And as you are familiar with in football, before a play is run, the captain will call their team into a huddle. And so we'll do that here. And you'll station yourself right along the scrimmage line, the center line on the field. And your job is to serve as the person who gives a cadence. In other words, the hut, hut, go when it's time for the play begin, and then to also serve as a referee for the play. So while in the huddle, the team captain, with input from his or her teammates, will choose a play, and a play is just one of those ions in their playbook. So let's say, for example, for this first play, that the cations are going to choose sodium and the anions are going to choose chloride over here. So they tell secretly within their huddle what the play is going to be, and then everyone comes up to the scrimmage line. So here they come, and the team captain will also be there also, and this team over here, these anions, have chosen chloride, and they'll come to the scrimmage line. Right now, to start the play, you'll give the cadence. So you're going to say hut hut go, and at go, the team captain on each team will yell out what their play is. So these guys will say sodium, and this guy over here will say chloride. Now, depending upon the compound that can be made, determines what happens next. So since this compound that can be made here is sodium chloride, and it takes one sodium cation for every one chloride anion, it's a 1-to-1 combination, a 1-to-1 ratio here. When that happens, this team here, the cation team, chases the anion team over here. So since it's 1-to-1, these are going to chase and chase. These anion team members are going to try to go as fast as they can back to their safe zone without being tagged by a member of the cation team. If they get tagged before they reach their safe zone, then they become a member of the cation team. So let's look at this another example here. So we're going to call a huddle, and let's say no one got tagged, so we end up with the same team composition here. So we got the captain here, and this team over here is gonna they're gonna huddle again. And let's say this time that the cations are going to choose lithium, and the anions are going to choose oxide this time. So we've got lithium oxide. And if we look at it here beforehand, you know, lithium's a +1, oxide is a -2. So it's going to take 2 lithiums for every 1 oxide. So it's not a 1-to-1 ratio for the play. It's not 1-to-1. It's actually a 2-to-1. All right. So let's set up the captains have now informed their teammates what the play is. So everyone comes to the scrimmage line. They all line up, and the cations are everybody's ready. And you're going to say hut hut go. The cation team will say, yell out lithium, and this captain over here will say oxide. Now, because it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, instead of the cations chasing the anions this time, in this case the anions chase the cations. And so, whoo, they're running now. They're running this way, but this guy here wasn't quite sure what to do. Got tagged by this team captain for the anion team. So he, on the next play, he becomes a team member over here. And these guys over here will huddle again for the next play of the game. Okay? Now, play can continue with the same list of possible plays from their playbook, and then you can start adding more cations and anions to their playbook. You don't have to do a different play every time. The team captain can choose the same ion, run it again, and trying to fool the opposing team. Now, eventually, it's likely, the possibility exists, I guess I should say, that lots of team members may end up on one team, and you may end up with the single player over here. So you might give it a 1 or 2 more rounds there to let them play, and then if necessary, you can reshuffle everybody and even the teams back up again to play more. Now, this game can be pretty confusing, starting out when you start the first few rounds of play. And students are having to think quickly in their head. Okay, they said lithium, we said oxide. Is it 1-to-1? Is it 2-to-1? I know it's 2-to-1, but do I chase or do I run from them? What do I do? So something you can do to help them out is once you hear the two ions, you can point which direction the running needs to happen. So if it is a 1-to-1, what you can do is take your arm here and point this way, and the team members who don't know what to do can look to you and see, I need to run this way, and so then play can go that way. Or if it's not a 1-to-1, if it's a 2-to-1 or 3-to-2 or whatever combination of ions to form that compound, you can point, go this way, and this will help them understand, get the idea, get the feel for the game on where they should be, if they should be running from or chasing their opponents. And then eventually you can not do that help for them and let them do this mental activity on their own. So this is compound football. Works great with all ages of students. Once they get an idea of how it works, they just play and have the best time. You might remind them that this is not contact football. They really shouldn't be tackling each other. But do go ahead. Have fun with your students. Enjoy your time with them playing compound football.